It's time for
DodgerHeads.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads Unplugged with Scotty G. It's a pleasure to have you in here. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all for tuning in. Critical day in Dodgers land. Critical day for the Dodgers in the World Series here, heading into Game 5. They are in a territory where series tied up. You have a clunker last night offensively. A lot of things that we've got to talk about. A lot of things offensively. Some things on the pitching side. But I'm joined by Matt Moreno. It's great to have you in, man. He's joining us live from the stadium on field. How we doing, man?
I'm good. I haven't had a chance to hop on. Definitely, I think this might be my first time on Unplugged with you. Maybe I got one other one in at some point, but I know this is definitely my first one from the field. Haven't had a whole lot of time to do our World Series shows, so I have a little bit of time here at the stadium. I wanted to hop on with you and talk some offense.
Yeah, as a executive editor, Matt Moreno. So thank you, man. I appreciate it a bunch. You've been a busy man doing everything for us. Can't thank you enough here. The chat appreciates you as always. But initial thoughts, just looking from last night. This is Scotty's thoughts territory. This is intro part of this show here. So your initial thoughts from last night's game and kind of the snowball effect, and even with the wins in the World Series, even having 2 W's, break down how the offense going into last night's loss kind of has come together and what's going on with them.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, like, even in their wins, like, it's sort of been, they've managed to do just enough. Obviously, you go back to Toronto, you have the huge Will Smith home run. Before that, Kike's single and things like that, and Muncie's home run to kind of do some insurance. And then really, like, that 18th inning game, our staff was all texting as it was going on, and it was like, man, like, the Dodgers keep leaving guys on base. They keep missing out on opportunities. And given the state of their bullpen, it sort of felt like one of these wasted chances is going to end up costing them. And, it didn't get to that point. Freddie finally got one out. And last night was a little bit of the same, right? Like you have a chance early. And yes, they take the lead on Kike's sacrifice fly, but that had the makings of being a bigger inning. And Bieber was shaky early. I felt like he wasn't really locating much. And there was definitely a chance for the Dodgers to put 2, 3, maybe 4 runs up early, and maybe that game goes differently. But they got just the one, and then Vladdy hits the home run, and then you're playing catch up at that point. And then we all saw what happened, once the game started to slip away a little bit.
Yeah, it's just been a peculiar thing. I mean, I know we battled with the offense all year and inconsistencies and the ability to string stuff together, but there were times where it was like, this offense can bludgeon you. This is an offense that even in, what's been most frustrating for me is I just want to lead into our first thing. Welcoming everybody. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're new to the channel, please do all those things for us. Thank you. But it's about time the Dodgers offense has to carry their own weight. My biggest thing is that they'll lead off the game, Matt, and you'll see them for the first 3 innings. They'll go up there with an approach that they're trying to gauge what the starting pitcher has, whether they have, multiple guys have different approaches. They're taking stock and inventory of how they're going to be pitched. And then it looks like, okay, they're having a couple opportunities here. Maybe they scratch 1, they scratch 2. They get through 3 innings, pitch count, and innings 2 and 3 look in a good spot to, hey, we can get Scherzer out of this game. We can get Bieber out of this game. And then after that, Alejandro Kirk or whoever's been behind the plate just feels like they dial those hitters in. And then all of that approach just goes out the window. They're able to pitch in the strike zone, able to throw meatballs in the strike zone, and the Dodgers just have one club in the bag. I'm big on that, but it's just been a circus act when it gets past that spot into these critical, gotta be moments. They're just not coming through. And it's been extremely frustrating with how the talk has been. This Dodgers offense will wear you down. They're going to make, Schneider go to that bullpen, and they just haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like impatience a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily it could be some pressing from the standpoint of, the offense as a whole has kind of underperformed and been inconsistent all year, and these guys know that. And obviously, you get to the World Series, there's only a finite number of games remaining. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's like scouting and preparation standpoint type thing. Although Dave Roberts, like he did say earlier in the World Series, especially against Yasavich, who obviously they're going to see again tonight, that he felt that they were sort of, the way he said, was in between. And that to me sort of does lend to like scouting and game plan and preparation. And so, I mean, we'll see tonight. Like, obviously, one of the things we've talked about several times on our shows throughout the regular season, specifically the playoffs, is when the Dodgers get a second look at a starting pitcher or a third look at a reliever type thing. And I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead in this episode, but like, it's a swing game, right? You're going back to Toronto no matter what. It's going to be a lot easier if you need to get one of two out in Toronto instead of two of two.
100%. At a certain point, it becomes a best of 5 series. Now it's a best of 3. This is a race to 3 games, or to 2 wins here, and however you get it, I couldn't care less how they get them. I don't care if the pitching staff shoves, and that's how they win it. They've done that throughout the postseason. But it would be easier if you could take some of the load off of Blake Snell. And that's why the biggest thing is that you can't have Mookie Betts going up here in the 2 slot, continuously having opportunities and popping up. It's just been a thing. Max Muncy is someone, for me, has been one of the biggest disappointments in the World Series to this point. Just someone who we all kind of circled as, this is someone who's going to be able to feast off not top-end starting pitching, but someone who, if you make a mistake in the zone, he's going to do it. I know he had a pump opposite field, and that made me feel pretty good. But just as a whole, him, Tommy Edman, it's in Alex Call in that, the 2-0 count where he just popped out the short. It's happened so many times. So with what you said about whether it's been in between, it's preparation, it's execution, it can be all those things can be true. But I think that when it's a gotta be count, I just feel like, just like he said, they're in between on what they're looking for, or whether it's they're looking for, say, they've got count leverage here and they're expecting this. They're just game planning better than the Dodgers on the other side against their offense. And when it comes to it, they're missing as many meatballs as I've ever seen them miss.
Yeah. And you mentioned Munchie specifically. This matchup, like, not only just you trust him against, some of the top pitchers, but also Blue Jays have a bunch of right-handers, right? Like, that was supposed to be the big thing was, hey, okay, the Phillies, like, they had the 3 lefties in their rotation that just neutralized Ohtani specifically, but, a lot of the lineup. The Brewers had some, the name's escaping me right now, a lefty or two out of their bullpen that could really, try to potentially limit the dot. You get to the Blue Jays and it was like, well, their rotation is a bunch of righties. Ohtani should get back on track. Muncy, definitely, I agree with you. I thought he was going to sort of break out. And yeah, I mean, to your point, it's a collective thing. Like, it's hard to kind of find a fall guy, if you will, or even 2 guys, because it is up and down the lineup. Like, everybody has had chances at some point to do some damage, to come up with a key hit. And like you said, like, it's not just, credit to the Blue Jays for their pitching, right? Like Daniel would say, like, no disrespect type thing. But they are leaving pitches out over the plate that the Dodgers just aren't taking advantage of. We were talking about it this morning. Like, if the Dodgers were just 10% better offensively than what we've seen, 15% maybe type thing.
Yeah.
They're probably up 3-1 heading into this game tonight.
Because it's Mike Petriello, if anybody has a chance to check out what he's been putting out there, he had some, data come out this morning that he kind of compiled about the Dodgers and the Blue Jays offense. It's not so, far between. I know there's been some blowouts in there, but when it comes to it, they're not doing so much different stuff than the Dodgers. They're just putting the ball in spots that can fall for base hits at a much higher clip than the Dodgers. The Dodgers, everybody can see it. It's a joke. They're just popping up. That's a lot of what it is. You're giving away outs. Whereas the Blue Jays, they've got guys in their offense who are willing, like Andres Jimenez. You've got guys who are willing to just fastball out or half, just push that the other way. Tommy Edman's at bat yesterday, as a huge fan of his. And it's just, I'm not going to go to bat for the guy in every single time, no matter what. But in a spot like that, you get 3 sweepers in the exact same spot, and you swing through all 3. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what the approach is up there. I don't know whether they're just caught, just like you said, caught in between. But it's at that inexcusable stage where they've done this before. They have this pedigree where I just don't feel that the difference between them, is enough to have this much of a, ineptitude when they're in these big spots where they've got to produce. The Dodgers are hitting balls in the air at a 70% clip. So this is from, fly ball percentages, 39%. This is from Mike Petriello. So shout out to you, man. Pop-up percentage, 15%. Unreal.
That's what stuck out the most to me. And I'm sure, everybody in the chat and on, the post, I didn't get a chance to to catch the postgame show last night, but yeah, Mookie obviously has been popping up, left and right again. He's back to kind of the early season form that we saw, where
Yep.
he was just in that rut where pretty much everything was a soft pop up one after another. But he's not alone. You mentioned Alex Call, and yeah, Tommy Edman, like he didn't make contact on that specific at bat, but he's popped up a couple times. Like it's just tough, and it's that being said, like not to say I wouldn't necessarily, I don't have like a ton of confidence to say, hey, the offense is going to break out at some point. I went into the World Series thinking that they are sort of due, and maybe facing a bunch of right-handed starters would help. I think now, maybe we're going to see. Look, their backs aren't quite up against the wall, but it's a best of three now. Like at this point, there's at most you have 3 games left in your season. You need 2 wins. There's been a bunch of talk about dynasty and legacy with this team, and these guys have acknowledged it. You need 2 wins to cement that, or 2 losses, wash all of that away. And this season then becomes, a disappointment, and we're having a much different conversation, 5 days from now.
Yeah, Freedom says this here straight up guys. Offense must have rubbed big time on our turf tonight. Game 5. Tired of watching pop ups, men on base, and not scoring. This must end tonight with a win. I really do think so. Like it's just I talk a lot about even when the Dodgers were up on series against other teams, and that I'm always willing to lend credit to the other team. That's just how it is. I understand that there's good players, across the diamond, and when backs are against the wall, players tend to step up. With the Blue Jays coming out from an 18-inning game where it's just a gut punch, where it was much more detrimental for them to not win that ball game because of the pitching matchup. Vladimir Guerrero runs into a sweeper on the only homer he's hit on an off speed up in the zone all season. It's anomaly stuff. That's where superstars take that next step and they do something they haven't done before. And then from there, it's just that's what happened. They kept the foot on the gas. They did the things, the core principles that they've done well all year, and that's how they win a ball game. They took advantage of that. So when the back's against the wall, when everybody expects you to take a step back or lose, good teams do these things. And the Dodgers, it's at that point where there is no more scapegoating this offense. They're in the World Damn Series. At a certain point, Dave Roberts, I know he's hinted at some shakeups in the lineup here, Matt. It would be interesting if Mookie Betts gets moved around. It'd be interesting if Andy Pages is out of the lineup there. That's something that I feel was incredibly overdue. Do you echo that same thing?
I do, Dave Roberts, we've discussed it, and I know it upsets a lot of fans and a lot of our viewers who are with us all the time. Like he is, you could argue that maybe he's loyal to a fault sometimes. You could also, there are examples of where, hey, his loyalty, his confidence ultimately paid off and worked out for him and the team. I do think that Pages probably got, I don't know if I would have had him in the lineup last night. I mean, I don't know, honestly, for game 3 as well, but Dave does keep pointing back to the quality of bats, and like they did get a little bit better, so I will give him that. He also he's mentioned his defense in center field, which fine. Like I think Edman's ankle is also, an issue here, but we saw him, the 18 innings, things got crazy. Edman finished that in center field. I think, again, there's 3 games left in the season at the most at this point. And so you hope that if you throw him out in center field, if that's what the Dodgers choose to do, that he can withstand it. The rest of the potential lineup movement and stuff is interesting because to me, like, there isn't a blazing bat somewhere, down at the bottom middle of the order that you say, oh, hey, this guy's really hot. Like, let's move him up and, rearrange things. Like, I just don't know how much of a difference that would necessarily make right now. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I think the fact that Dave did say, last night that the lineup might look different is certainly a big clue that there's probably something coming.
I agree. Dave does. Somebody in chat, I think, just mentioned that if he's willing to keep Andy Pages in the lineup, he'll keep Mookie in there. I don't think those guys are even on the same platform, period. The allegiance to Mookie Betts is just terms of, he's the starting shortstop and the ceiling of what he can do and the glue that what he is to this lineup there. Andy Pages is an outfielder that at certain points, if you had a lefty to play center field, that lefty would be in there against these righties. Yeah. So I think Andy Pages is one that for sure will be out of the lineup. Mookie Betts moving around, he's always been willing to do. His comments might not lend to that he's willing to do whatever it takes because people skew that however they want. But if they ask Mookie Betts to step out of that 2 spot, they move him up to the leadoff spot. They want to give Shohei someone in front, which has been the issue. Not providing Shohei with someone on base has been the problem because Shohei Ohtani, Petriel, he's been a dynamo with this thread this morning. Ohtani this postseason, an 1182 OPS. Every other Dodger combined is 682 OPS. So that's 239 average for him. It's just been unacceptable from the rest of the offense. It's just, I think when you look at the 2024 team, Matt, and you see how they just demolish their way through everyone, and not every game they were in completely. That Mets series where they just duked it out, game 5 of the World Series where they just came back in a blink, it just feels worlds away. Yeah, and with this, what this Dodgers offense has to do now, I feel, I'm going to say this. You said it's not a must win in terms of they still have another game to drop if they can make this happen. But for me, I look at it that you've had a ton of clunkers. Your manager's going to shift around the lineup, which he hasn't done in game 5 of the World Series. If there was ever a time where it's, hey guys, get your shit together. This is it. That's the spot. I just feel like it is at home, and before you have to turn around and get on a flight to Toronto. This is it.
Yeah, I agree. And a couple of things to your point about the lineup, like in the bottom of the lineup and getting people on base for Ohtani. When the Dodgers were sort of, going on a little bit of a stretch, I know they were inconsistent throughout the year, but Ha-Seong Kim at the bottom, when he was going well, he was turning that lineup over and getting Ohtani, another runners in scoring position opportunity and stuff like that. And I know Kim hasn't really seen the field. I don't know, if Pages isn't in the lineup tonight. I think it's probably more likely Rojas at second base rather than Kim. But it just ties back to the bigger picture of the lineup. And you mentioned it last year. Like, that's what we saw. Like, there was the depth. There was, it was a relentless type thing. And also, I saw Laura commenting that Pages is just being a scapegoat and there are other weak links. Like, I do agree. And that is something, when Dave Roberts was asked about Pages earlier in the World Series, he did say, look, he's the number 9 hitter. Like, you can't put our lineup failures or struggles on the number 9 hitter. He said, I'm not doing that. So I do agree. I think the problem also, though, is that he's hitting what, like 085 or something?
067. He's got a 134 OPS in a World Series.
So it's like, that's not necessarily blaming him, but that's also at a point where, like, hey, we need to try to get something out of that spot.
Overall, in the postseason, Andy Pages has a 215 OPS here, and that's in 50 ABs. He's 4 for 50 this postseason with 0 walks.
And that's he finished. He was, I believe, second on the team in home runs during the regular season. Obviously, a huge gap between him and Ohtani, but I'm pretty sure he was second. And I know that the rest
homers in the regular season.
So, like, you're not getting any sort of getting any sort of slug or power from him, and it's tough.
Yeah, 27 homers, 86 RBI, and that's a guy that you're batting in the 9 slot. It's just a complete fall off from it. So Andy Pages, for what he did, last postseason against the Mets there, it's just, I look at this and it's been a black hole. And I think that I understand with what you said about the loyalty aspect, and can Alex Call provide you a little bit more? He provides you a different at bat. Rojas is one that I'm surprised hasn't been that, but it's been the ankle of Tommy Edman. It's been the lack of a bat left-handed off the bench there who can command center field, play center field. That's been the issue. They've put themselves into this spot and they made it to the World Series. So it's not that, we hindsight look at this, but it's just, this is where they're at, and they've got to find a way to maneuver these guys to make it work. Andy Pages turning into a pumpkin deep into October has been an issue for him. And now they've got to find a way. Somebody's got to step off the bench there. And just like you said, if it's Rojas, it's someone who I would trust up there to go find a barrel, be bat to ball inclined. If Tommy Edman's ankle can hold up for 3 more games in center field, I would try to run him out there. If you want to sub him out late game for Justin Dean, absolutely. I think he can handle that spot. Miguel Rojas can handle second base, maneuver it how you want. That's how I see it, Matt. It's a multitude of frustrations. It's me still saying they can make this happen, because they do swing for so much slug, but they can't keep missing these meatballs, because it's the first 3 innings where I see these flashes and I see the veteran, stuff of working counts, and they're looking on the other side that we've got to get it churning. We don't know what's going to happen. And then they just settled in. And then all of that thought that I had early on completely goes away.
Yeah, I agree. To the Pages point too, like, it's not always just that the Dodgers are looking for a hit. Like, it's sometimes you need a productive out, like putting the ball in play. Like, he'd been striking out a lot, right? And that's where, like, this, I think he's scaled back a little bit. Like, that bat quality has improved over the last couple of days, but
he's gone deep in accounts. You're right.
But I mean, it's to Miguel Rojas. Like, maybe Miguel, I'm not saying we're not saying Rojas is going to go in and go 3 for 3 with a double or type thing. But maybe he moves a runner over. Maybe he gets a sacrifice fly. Like, that stuff does matter at this point, especially again when the offense sort of needs all the help they can kind of get.
Yeah, with Matt, it will stay right there because it's when you have Shohei Ohtani in the one slot and then you get Mookie Betts there and they've continuously just attacked that and there's been nobody on. Things change. You saw it last night in the ninth inning. On the mound there, I think it was Varland on the mound. You had a runner on second base. He intentionally, uh, move the runner over to third to avoid that. It's all these little nuances. It's all these little things that the Dodgers can provide themselves and the opportunities they can provide themselves if they just had a little bit of production in the 9 slot. Just a tiny bit. It's just like you said, give us 10% more. And this series has changed dramatically. So if with these little moves today, they've got 3 games to make it happen. Hopefully 2 if this happens right.
Yeah.
But Dave Roberts making these changes today, and I know Matty Man, he's doubting that there's going to be changes. I'll say this, there will be changes to the lineup. There will be changes to the lineup. I don't know how big, but there will be changes. And it's just they've got to create more opportunities for themselves. And if they're leaning on Shohei to be the guy to make things happen, they've got to provide themselves with opportunities so he can make those things happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely a big game here. You covered. I don't want to sound like too redundant. You're covering. I mean, you're hitting all the key spots.
No, go ahead. I mean, look, it's just when you look at the numbers as a whole between the Dodgers and Toronto, it's that when the games that they've blown out, it is what it is. That stuff happens. The Dodgers are hamstrung with their bullpen. Everybody knows how poor the bullpen's been. It's just how it is. Let them go out there. Let them just give it up. It's all good. The blowout doesn't matter as long as it just comes with a win following that. And they've done it. So you answer that, the 18-inning game, both teams did do well offensively. They put up 5 apiece, and then you play a full 9-inning game following that, and then you just get 1. So that's how it goes sometimes. That's baseball. But you just have to make sure that when it comes to them, throwing those blows on the other side, you can answer that. And then today, if that's the day they shake it up, you just have to have better at-bat quality and not a black hole there on the 8 and 9 slot. A couple more super chats here. Aaron says, not dooming, not confident, just fine. That's okay. Says the team is resilient. I know the offense has it in them. It's time for championship DNA to show up. Aaron, I mean, they know they got it in them, but they haven't shown it. I'm with you though. I'm with you. I see it as a 3-game set. When you start breaking 7-game and then you look at it's a 5-game series and then a 3-game series, it's just go win 2 ball games. And if you purely look at the pitching matchup, I know Matt, I can answer for him right here. You look at that on paper and you say, if they go out and they purely execute, Yamamoto pitched a complete game in Toronto. You get Blake Snell at home tonight. You feel pretty good. So I'm with you, Aaron. Rich says the one weapon the Blue Jays have that the Dodgers just don't understand. Blue Jays go with the pitches given to them and do damage by putting it in play. And I agree with this a lot because it was the inning yesterday against Ohtani where they got a leadoff single. And then a double following that. And then you get second and third, nobody out. And then you start looking around that dam. You feel like this is the spot where if they keep tacking on, this is an insurmountable lead. And then it became 3, and then it became 4. And then you start to look at it like, how can the Dodgers find these runs if they're not slugging? And it's just, where do you see this at-bat quality? Where do you see them able to chip that on? And they just never provided themselves with the opportunities to battle back. So, Rich, I'm with you. Matt, to Rich, what he brought up there about the Blue Jays just going with the pitches. This is a universal approach that the Dodgers – not squarely look for slug, but they're looking to do damage 1 through 9.
Yeah, and honestly, watching the Blue Jays, that approach that Richard brings up, reminds me a lot of the time when the Dodgers have won their World Series. These last 2, it's been, they've gotten to the postseason, they've come up with the 2-out hits, they've come up with a 2-out single, and then yes, you mix in obviously big home runs and stuff like that here and there. But yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Like the Blue Jays, I feel like are doing what the Dodgers typically have prided themselves on. Hey, we're going to work long at bats. We're going to make the pitcher grind. We're going to get our pitch. We're not going to miss a bunch of mistakes. We're going to put the ball in play, this, that, and the other. And it hasn't been there. And it is unfortunately a little bit of microcosm of the entire season, right? And we saw these inconsistencies at times, and we saw them, kind of put it together starting in September. And we thought, okay, this is a veteran team. They sense the moment. They're aware of what's going on. And now, they're going to get rolling. And to their credit, they have. And then, we saw the offense sort of, have some peaks and valleys up to this point. And I mean, look, there's 3, again, I sound like a broken, at max, there's 3 games left. So at this point, it's just, kind of figure it out type thing.
So it's in looking at agree. So it's, chat. I'm going to read this off here. And again, credit to Mike Petriello for doing this. He's doing a lot of heavy lifting on here. So if this ever gets to him, let him know. Big thank you. Because the Blue Jays are playing to their scouting report. They're doing what the Dodgers, how you can counter good pitching is not allow them to put themselves in advantageous spots on the mound, which is, count leverage and 1-2, 0-2, not allowing them to do that. Because what happens is the Blue Jays' performance in 2-strike counts in this World Series, they've got a 176 batting average, 451 OPS, and the Dodgers are performing so much better in those 2-strike counts. The Dodgers have a 720 OPS in 2-strike counts, and that's a huge difference. That's 275 points. Or 270 points, excuse me. So they're hitting early in the count. They're going out there, not allowing Dodger starters to get ahead, not allowing relievers to get ahead. They're going ahead and attacking the stuff that's given to them early on in the count. And I continuously see, Matt, Dodgers hitters go up there and you're taking 0-0 fastballs down middle. You're taking get me over off speed down the middle.
Yeah.
It's happening way too much. It's the trouble point, Matt, where if you be too aggressive and you miss a spot, you don't do that. Somebody says, what the hell is going on? But I think they're throwing so much spin at the Dodgers, sliders, curveballs, knuckle curves, split. That's what they're doing. They're going to beat the Dodgers that way. They don't want to let the Dodgers beat them with fastballs. If you're going to swing for slug, we're going to make it tough by spinning the hell out of you on the mound. And that's what they're doing. And it's beating the Dodgers offense to this point. They just have to find a way to find that correct balance between being aggressive and going up there and doing this. Joe Dev says, not staring at meatballs. And that's the way. That's where we're currently at. So to wrap that, thanks for that 27 segment on the Dodgers offense because it's needed. It's been the focal point. I know that when the game gets away, people want to talk about pitching and Blake Trinan and all those things. All those conversations have their place. But with the Dodgers offense that can beat you to death, they haven't answered the bell. They're nowhere to be found. They're MIA. So any final thoughts with that?
No, I mean there is the balance. Like you mentioned it, the balance, right? Like they kind of are who they are, and you don't necessarily fully change the type of hitters or team that you've been. But to your point, again, I don't want to keep harping on it. There's 3 games left. So if you need to make some adjustments, if you need to, we've seen. I mean, look, we saw it last night. Like Alex, I don't know if it was Alex Call. Somebody swung at the first pitch that they got and popped it up in a key spot. So it's not like the Dodgers are completely adverse to trying to ambush, but for whatever reason, it's just not necessarily something that they have been doing a whole lot of. But maybe you kind of it's a balance though, right? Because if you do that and you give the other team, whether it's your Savage or any of the Blue Jays pitchers quick outs, then that changes the complexion of stuff too.
Yeah. A couple of super chats here, and then we'll talk Blake Snell, and I'll let you get out of here and let you get in some. People are saying that they need to get you a hat. They need to get you out of the sun.
Oh, I'm okay. I have sunscreen on. I'm good.
Everybody, big thank you to Matt again. He's been incredible for us. He's been at the stadium in the turnaround, the 18-inning game. So can't thank you enough here for being on here. He's doing incredible work here. So, Matt, thank you, buddy. Doc says this. Do you think the Dodgers will play more small ball or will they keep swinging for the fences? So many robbed hits. Maybe the Dodgers frustrated with the Blue Jays' perfect defense. They are playing a lot of no doubles defense. They are forcing the Dodgers to go away and put the ball in play up the middle. And the Dodgers are playing for stuff down the lines. And it's just, be early, be late. They are playing a lot of no doubles defense, which I have noticed has been a key thing that I've looked into, watched a lot of replays there. Ernie Clement down the third base line, Vlad's hugging the line. They are not allowing the Dodgers to have extra bases. They're going to force them to play up the middle, play way in between the lines here. And that's just how I see it. So I don't, as strictly this, Matt, I don't see a change in approach from the Dodgers. I just think that they're going to have to come today with a better attitude of just getting bat to ball and maybe not hunting so much later in the count. Maybe go in there and take what you're given early on in the count. But I don't see them having a different club in the bag. They go for slug. That's what they do.
Yeah. And look, we're also having a different conversation if they just aren't missing so many hittable pitches in this series. Again, not that you can fully take things for granted type thing, but if they don't, you Savage his first game, there were a lot of fastballs that he was leaving over the plate that they were fouling off and just late to. And so if they're making contact on those, we're having a different conversation. So sometimes it is as simple as, hey, when you're getting a bunch of mistakes, do damage.
Yeah, it's just flat out, it's just big principles. And you look at that, and that's what the Blue Jays did. They coming into the World Series, they didn't miss mistakes, and when they've beaten the Dodgers down in the blowouts, that's just what they do. They do not miss the mistakes, and that's what you can't do. At this point, a lot of pitchers are tired. They're making those mistakes. That's how they beat up on. That's how they beat the Yankees. They beat mistakes. That's what good players do. Blue Sky says, I think it's Shannon. She says, we have regressed to hitting approach we had prior to the player meeting before end of the season. Bats woke up after that. Get back to that. We win. There's a lot of ways they get back to just 10% more on the offensive end because contrary to what, goes on, a lot changes when you have early runs. The biggest key for me was forcing Schneider, Blue Jays manager, to get into his bullpen early on, force Max Scherzer out of the game early on, because his ceiling of pitching and how far he can go into a game hasn't been a lot. He had a near 6 ERA in the regular season. Shane Bieber coming off elbow surgery. His ceiling was, you would hope, 5 innings, but he was able to go out there and cruise through it. So the Dodgers have to be able to force the Blue Jays off game script, and they just haven't done it. So it's something that it's been circled a few times for me that it's not a unified approach on that sense, that those at-bat quality things need to continue through the game. Freedom says this, put Rojas at shortstop and Mook to the outfield. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. Once I get through those, Freedom, I appreciate this. And then bench Pajes. Yeah, we're cool on benching Pajes now. Rojas, no need to put him at short. Keep him at second. Mookie's not playing the outfield. We talked about this. It's Game 5 of the World Series, brother. I appreciate you being here, all support, but we've talked about it way too much. He just won a huge award for his play at shortstop. He's not moving anywhere. Hope it gets better, but it's at this point. He says, I hate to say this personally, but their offense blows away the Dodgers. Dodgers are trying too hard to hit the long ball every at bat. Yeah, we get it. And we're all unified in that sense. They've got to show a different club in the bat here. But real quick, let's talk Blake Snell. Looking to bounce back in Game 5. There's been a talk that Blake Snell coming into it, it's just he's on that historic run and feeling as comfortable as could be with him out there. What's your initial thoughts looking ahead at Game 5 tonight with Blake Snell on the mound, turning himself around here?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously need, something closer to what he showed in the NLDS and, I guess for that matter, Wild Card Series, NLDS, NLCS, than Game 1 of the World Series. I think one encouraging thing is you go back to his Game 1 start, it looked fastball command was the biggest issue for him. So it's sort of, a simple thing, quote unquote, if you will, to kind of solve and get corrected. And if you can do that, then, it should open up a lot of other things for him. He did say yesterday when he spoke in his press conferences up on our YouTube channel. So once Scotty's done here, definitely check that out. He's looking forward to this start. And, he's somebody who's been very big and open about learning throughout the playoffs with each outing, both good and bad. And so I think, tonight will be interesting to see how he kind of implements all that.
All righty. We have a update on the lineup here. Buster, let's see if somebody else has anything here. Buster only just put out that Will Smith moves to the 2 spot for the Dodgers. Mookie Betts is hitting third, and Alex Call will start in left field. I don't see anything else. Let's see if we have a full lineup here, but that is where
I wonder. He probably got that source from somewhere then.
Yeah, that is something that is not out currently yet, but that is what Buster only puts out here. Mookie Betts will be hitting third. He reports that Mookie Betts is hitting third. Will Smith moves up into the 2 slot, and Alex Call will be starting in left field here. I would say that Kike Hernandez will be pushed over to center field. Do you think that's the move that they go with?
Yeah, I think, if he said Call is starting, so Call's in left field. I guess they probably, Kike could also be playing second base if they. I guess at that point it comes down to do you trust Edmonds' ankle more, or do you just roll the dice with Kike not playing a whole lot of center field this season? I think the bigger thing to me, honestly, is, and again, not that he's been great, but I think some of his at bats have been better. Like now, Freddie, I would assume, is batting fourth if Smith is second and Mookie's third. I don't know. That's an interesting change to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we can break that down, where there's a lot of ways that we could look and how you can get Freddie more, at bats there, and the lefty righty thing and at bat quality and wanting Freddie up there. He's looked better. And maybe it's just eliminating the string and I would say the poor outcomes. Mookie Betts has been, rough this World Series here. So maybe the string of going from, Mookie in that spot to Teoscar to Muncy, it's just, you want to have some break in that where you have somebody consistent. So I understand it from that way. Will Smith in the 2 slot is a great swap here.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. Will Smith has looked exceptional. That at bat quality, his eye has been great. He's, even in the 18 inning game, he's had some pops there where you're like, okay, he's got it. So Shohei lead off, Will Smith right behind him, which is a great change because of Schneider and how much he said that they're going to try to pitch around him here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on Will Smith in the 2 slot there? What that can do for Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, if they were going to move Mookie out of the 2 spot, I think Smith definitely made the most sense. And so, you do that, and yeah, I mean, no notes as the kids say.
Yeah, it's just that's we'll see when the lineup comes out there. I'm okay with it. They've got to do something. This is the swap. I didn't expect Mookie Betts to get dropped down to the lower third of the lineup or anything like that. If anything, it's just trying to provide him or somebody in front of it where, hey, if you don't want to pitch to Shohei Ohtani, you're going to get someone that's had more bat to ball, who's looked better at the plate. I applaud this move on the fly. Final game at home before you turn around and go to Toronto here. Let's get back to Blake Snell here. And otherwise, if you want to go, that's all right with me. I can take it from here.
Yeah, I probably will. Here, I'll show everybody. They're starting to set up for BP. So
there you go. All righty, everybody, say thank you to our fearless leader here, executive editor Matt Moreno here. I think we might have just lost him, but thank you, Matt. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. All righty, take care, buddy. We'll talk later.
I'll talk to you guys.
All righty.
Bye.
All righty. Now just me. So chat, that's how I see it. Let's see here. Any big thoughts on this? I'm going to pull the banner down. Let's chat about the lineup. Let's talk lineup here. Let me put a banner up real quick. All right. So Buster Only reportedly puts out that Mookie Betts moves down to the 3 spot, and Will Smith will be batting second today behind Shohei Ohtani there, and how they move it around. So I like that swap. It's something where you've got to generate, some more offense there, generate some more opportunities. Somebody who's in the 2 slot there, where beforehand it was Mookie Betts has made opposing teams pay for walking Shohei Ohtani, pitching around him, because we have seen intentional walks for Shohei. Will Smith is in a much better spot right now than Mookie Betts, and it's just how it is. I believe Mookie Betts is an all-world talent, but right now where he is, he's reverted back to some early season form and popping up, getting under the ball and not making the most of those ABs there. He had one swing where you saw something, so hopefully that takes some pressure off, and I know he's good with this swap. They don't have these type of things. They don't have these type of egos here. Let's see if anybody's got any comments on this here. Scooter Bruder says Smith at second is a good move. Mookie at third is a little questionable. This is where I agree. I would have had Freddie Freeman in the 3 slot there. But I think they want to break up the ability for later in the game for John Schneider to throw in Fluharty to give them that matchup there. I think that's what they're looking to avoid. I really do. So that's where we saw this against the Phillies, that the Dodgers want to eliminate the ability, and against the Brewers, eliminate a lefty specialist from having, a 3-batter spot where you can go Shohei Ohtani to Will Smith to Freddie Freeman, and you provide those lefties there. You're going to give him a break in that. So that's probably where their thought process is. And that's the best way that I can say that they're game planning this. A little bit of gamesmanship on that front, but it's the best way to alleviate that. Don't provide John Schneider with an ability to deploy a platoon lefty to just spin 2 of the 3 batters to death with Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman right there. So Mookie Betts better be on his P's and Q's today. He better be on his P's and Q's today. I know he said he didn't want to think about another dude when he was in bed, but Mookie Betts better be thinking about, how can I channel my inner Shohei Ohtani and club the ball today? How can I put the ball in play like Freddie Freeman? That's how it goes. Yep, Ruby Booby. What's up, buddy? Says, bloop and a blast. See you, Toronto. Yep. Boys in 6. I credit Dave Roberts with this swap here. I really do. I credit Dave Roberts with the swap. Alex Call in the lineup over Andy Pajes. That's how it is. Yeah. BC, the gap between those 4 hitters and everyone else is embarrassing. Haven't been great, buddy. Haven't been great. Ruby Booby, I would say Call probably batting 9th here. A lot of righties in this lineup, man. A lot of righties in this lineup. They got to figure it out. I don't feel like any of these guys have been overwhelmed by stuff. They're just not missing meatballs. Square up. They're just missing so many meatballs. It's been unacceptable. Will Smith looks good. Liz looked good. Otani, Freddie Freeman's had some flashes here, but it's a good move. Yeah, Madison right here. Good move. We need a hitter behind Otani so they can't walk him every time. W. Madison. Ruby says, I think about Scott when I lay down at night. W. Ruby. Appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out to the 2000 in here joining me on this Wednesday afternoon, getting you prepped for before game 5. We still got to talk Blake Snell. We're getting super chats here, but again, that's the best way to get a hold of me. I've got a few here. I'm waiting for the Blake Snell segment to do it. But great conversation today, everybody. If you're tuning into Unplugged for the first time, we are here Monday through Friday. I'm getting you prepped. We've been riding this all the way through prior to the postseason, all the way into the postseason here. And here we are in game 5. It's been a terrific run here. Let's see. Freedom, he says, hey, Scott, old man with 70 years, Dodger fan, win tonight and have 2 more chances of being champs again. My friend, you are a great fan. Freedom, I appreciate you and your ability to, throw some thoughts out there and being appreciative of my responses. It's not that I take some takes as just like I'm going to toss them out the window, that they're ridiculous. I always appreciate your support, but with the Mookie Betts one moving off of shortstop, people have to let that go. He's a terrific shortstop. He's going to be there. He should be in that slot. It comes to where the outfielders have been so poor for the duration of the season. They got to step it up. They just have to win 2 or 3 and go from there. And you look on paper and you feel great with this. So Freedom, I appreciate you. It's great to have you in here. I'm glad you have a spot to it. Air your thoughts out and join a great community we have here. Peely says, I'm okay with some of our hitters not trying to slug, but you need to mix in contact hitters too. 9 slot. Not everyone needs to swing for the fences. And I think Tommy Edmonds is a big factor in that. Mookie Betts is a big factor in that kind of turnaround for the offense where they're providing a lot more traffic on the bases. And you just look at the stats. They just haven't got it going. And again, I'll tell everyone that Max Muncy has been, and a bunch of my friends, we talk ball way too much throughout the day, that Max Muncy has been someone that I had ready to go in this postseason, in this World Series, that he was going to be just a force, and it just hasn't come to fruition there. It just hasn't come to fruition. He had that opposite field homer in Toronto, and at home, I expected him to really take the reins here. It just hasn't happened. But I applaud Dave Roberts today, moving Will Smith to the 2 slot reportedly. Mookie Betts batting 3rd. Alex Calls getting the start in left field, which I would say Kike Hernandez going to center field or second base, and Tommy Edman going to center. But I would say if they don't feel comfortable with Tommy Edman going to center field, then he stays at 2, and Kike Hernandez, who has played, an extensive amount of center field in his career, just not much this year. I don't think at all. Maybe just an inning or 2 here and there, would get the start in center field. So however they mix that up, fine by me. But they need to have at-bat quality in there. And they're providing themselves with a plus behind Otani. They're providing themselves with a plus with Alex Call in there instead of Andy Pages. You're going to miss out on a little bit of the thump that Andy Pages has, but he hasn't done it for a long damn time. We're talking 4 for 50 this postseason, chat. I think that's what I said earlier in the show. So 4 for 50 for Andy Pages. Finally gets the bench in game 5 of the World Series. And possibly I would say that might be the last start he has this postseason. I don't think he gets another one. I don't think he gets another one there. All right. But I don't have any report of a full lineup yet. I will bring that to you if we've got it. Somebody let me know immediately if they put that up here. But I haven't seen anything so far. So please let me know on that sense if it hits. Chat, I know you'll do me that big favor there. All right. Let's talk Blake Snell. Because last time out, I made a lot about how Blake Snell has been as good as anybody that I've seen pitch in the postseason in a really long time. Is the lineup out? Somebody said a lineup's out. Are you messing with me here? Man. Yapping. Somebody will put that in there. Somebody copy paste it in chat for me. But let me keep going with Blake Snell here. Blake Snell against the Blue Jays in game one, I felt confident in. The thing was that when you have just a massive string of righties with Dalton Varsho being the only lefty in their roster or in their lineup to lead off, they're in the middle of that lineup in that game. It was that you have to pitch with the same approach against a full right-handed lineup. Zoran, that's okay. I appreciate the troll. You know me. And he was never able to establish the fastball. He was never able to establish, the fastball inner half after not missing it up. And with that, Blake Snell has to be able to get those calls today. I believe that if the fastball is competitive and he's able to land that for strikes in the zone, able to find the quadrant up top and find the hole in the, I would say every hitter's thing where it's high velocity fastballs up and in, high velocity fastballs inner half, where if you can turn a barrel, if you can extend the hands on a fastball inner half, you tip your cap. And if you hit 96, 97 up after sitting change down away as a right-handed hitter, you just applaud and tip your cap. That's just how it goes. But he was unable to do that in game one. And that's how the Blue Jays really made him work and forced him out of the game, after 5 innings, 5 earned runs there, 3 walks, and he really wasn't able to get into his bag. He was forced to go change up heavy. The curveball wasn't competitive there. He wasn't able to do it. And it's mainly relies on the fastball. So if he's able to have his fastball, he's able to land it up and in. That quadrant's a big one, stuff there. If you just purely look at the heat map and you look at how he attacked Vladimir Guerrero Jr., was the first AB against him. He didn't get those calls top zone. Umpire just shook him off. And then he tried inner half, didn't get that either, couldn't land it. And then from there, I would say you could kind of chalk it up. From there, it was me. I was like, this is going to be not a great day for him. And it's not that easy. You can battle back between innings, but Blake Snell is a very meticulous pitcher. And he has a way to dominate, but if he doesn't have his best stuff, it's just, that's what he relies on. So I'm going to be looking out for that again. I believe he'll be able to do it. And BC says this here, it'll be a different ump this time, so he's not worried. And I'm with you. I get that. He's got to be able to get those calls there. There's been some, Alejandro Kirk and the framing stuff has been ridiculous. Like it's a deal. So thankfully next year it won't matter. But tonight, Blake Snell has to be able to establish that fastball because I believe Schneider is going to run out basically the same lineup he had here in that first start. And let me see if I have this pulled up here, who they ran out in that lineup. Just bear with me for 1 second. 1 second here. Freedom says again, if they get squared up tonight, Scott, they'll tear these guys apart. When change happens there, players notice it. Freedom says this again, Snellzilla better be a Godzilla tonight. If he keeps them in the ball game, that's just how they've won games. Starting pitching has kept them in the ball game, and the offense has battled back some. So that's how I see it. I need him to dominate, though. I don't want him to just go out there and have a mediocre start. I want him to go out there and just dominate. Just go out there and dominate. You guys keep trolling with this lineup stuff. You're killing me. You're killing me. I've got like 14 windows open on my side thing here. And I got people putting hypothetical lineups up in my Twitter feed. You guys are so funny. Stop. Killing me. You're killing me. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. The lead up to this has been stressful. Damn. Stressful. But yes, here we go. I got the lineup from that game. There we go. I believe the Blue Jays with, sans George Springer, because that oblique's a big deal. How they're going to run this out, it's going to be just a ton of righties. Davis Schneider might get the start. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette will probably be at 2. Kirk in there. Varsho, I believe, will be in there. Ernie Clement, Miles Straw, Andres Jimenez. So it's just going to be all righties again with Varsho just smack dab in the middle of it, who was able to tag him for that 2-run homer on a spinner. I think it was a fastball he tagged him on. I think that was a fastball outer half, like 94. Lucas, yeah, he says lineups don't get posted until 2. You never know, man. Sometimes they toss it out early. It all depends. But yeah, I'm just getting fooled. Bunch of bullies, man. Yeah, that's where they're at. Dodgers got to go out there, put up runs early, make it easy on them. Let's just hypothetically say this story for this Dodgers team ends with the offense not being able to get themselves off the mat. then we'll look at it saying the starting pitching did as much heavy lifting as we've ever seen. And they pitched well enough to secure a World Series title if the offense just does a little bit. And if they didn't do that little bit, it's just how it goes. Peely, you're good. We'll wait. It's all good. We had a good conversation about it. Dodgers Muse, what's up, man? I appreciate you sharing this around all the time. Thanks for the retweets every time. Getting exposure to this channel and my show here. So always appreciate the support there. All the Dodgers content creators, you, Dodgers Nate, everybody always showing out for me. Jacob Brownson, thank you guys. Ruby Booby says we need Binder Snell tonight. We need that. We need him to show up playing his rap song. We need that blaring throughout the stadium. I need him locked in here. Go out, have a clean first inning, get the bats up there, show this new look lineup that there's just going to be competitive at bats through the first half there. And then once you get to, 7, 8, 9, you're able to provide some traffic there. He says this here, Dog, I'm really nervous for tonight. Almost feels like a must win. I said that it's a best of 3 now, and it's not theoretically a must win game. But with how poor the offense looked yesterday, and the Blue Jays were able to rally back from that 18-inning game and seemingly just played to what they've done to get to the World Series to this point, hit mistakes, put guys on base, hit with runners in scoring position, chip away. The Dodgers have chipped away. In that, the 18-inning game prior to the extra innings, they did chip away. They had some homers, and that's how they did it. They chipped away a little bit, but it would be a different series if the Dodgers were able to do just 10% better, like Matt Moreno said at the beginning of the show. So I would say that they need to show themselves today that they can do that. But I feel, yeah, Kenny, I'm with you. I'm getting to it. One sec. With how much of a disappointment yesterday was, and it felt I went and played board games with the kiddo after that. After like inning 7, it was done. I tweeted out, I turned that thing off. It was lifeless. It was over. Once they tacked on, I was out. No shame. That was embarrassing. What a poor performance. After Tommy Edman swinging through 3 straight sweepers, ridiculous. Out of here. Max Muncy, first pitch off a lefty, or Flew Hardy comes in there, gets a cutter away, pops it out. Edman comes in there in a spot where you can do something with 3 straight sweepers. That's a tongue twister. Nothing changed seemingly. So that was where my frustration was at. I'm like, I'm not doing this. We'll see them tomorrow. So they need to bounce back today. It feels to me like it's not technically a must-win game because you can lose today and you still have 2 to play. But for the Dodgers at home, I want to leave here with a win. You leave here where you just need 1 more on the road. That's where it's at. You got to avoid. Yeah, he said Dodgers Muse here, right here. He says, I don't know if you noticed, but in the games the Dodgers Blue Jays win, they have 1 inning where they score 3 or 4 runs. You've got to avoid the big inning. And if they put up 1 on the other side, you got to go ahead and match it. You've got to go do that. You got to make the most of every at-bat here. And Dave Roberts is sick of Andy Pages wasting at-bats. Game 5 of the World Series. Guys. We talked about a switch early on. If you can flip it, do something about it. So I'm tired of the bullpen getting all the getting the stuff here. The starting pitching has made their job as easy as they could. In the 18-inning game, they pitched, and Will Klein and the rest of those guys there kept them in a World Series game. And that's way more grit and grind activity and moxie than the offense has showed in 4 games to this point. Just going to say that. The offense has been the failure of this World Series so far, and they should be up 3-1. My prior prediction to the World Series was I would like to see Dodgers in 5 because I want to see it at home. But the original thing, if I gave the Blue Jays as much credit as I believe they deserve, was in 6. They're still able to do it, but the offense isn't making anything easy. And all the onus is back on the offense to help Blake Snell out in Game 5. Allow him to go out there and not be picture perfect. You don't have to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto and be picture perfect and go complete. But you've got to allow him to pump and pitch to the strike zone and not have to dunk and dive around. So I'm okay being critical of the offense because they deserve, being, critical takes on them. To the 2,300 in here, I appreciate you a lot. I know all echo the same stuff that I'm talking about right now. This is where the Dodgers can, take advantage of a second look at Trey Savage, avoid looking in between because like we talked about prior to Game 1, This is a pitcher that he gives a deceptive look, an incredibly high arm slot. He's had success. He has blown down the New York Yankees. He stymied the Dodgers for a bit. But even in that, they had a spot where they could have tacked on more. And we got a little taste of that in game one, that they just, when that moment comes, when you can tack on more than just one, you can do it. You can do it. You have to do it. Andrew said the show has not been easy. Thanks, Scotty. Yeah, this is where it's at. This is sports talk. This is how we do it. I'm not going to give you fluff. It's just not. That's not what you do. If you want to tune into an all fan channel and just talk about everything all well and good, that's not where you're going to get it. They're in the World Series. They're tied at 2. They're in the best spot they could be. You wouldn't trade this for the world. But the Dodgers offense has an opportunity today again to figure out who the hell they damn are. And Dave Roberts recognized changes had to be made, and the starting pitching was doing way too much heavy lifting, and the bullpen was getting way too much criticism because everybody knew that was the concern. Cool. I'll take a couple questions, and then I'll let you get out of here. We're burning it. And then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. So all caps question for me, please. And then I'll take a few here. I didn't have any starred. Usually people do those throughout the show, but people are going crazy. But all caps question, please. And then I'll get to a couple here. Laura says this: Dodgers deserve to lose. Laura, come on. Take it easy. They got a game to drop here, and they're still in contention to win it. The offense deserves to be berated, that's for sure. That's what it is. I don't think they deserve to lose, but the offense for sure needs all the critique in the world. Thunderpants says, do you think Call will give the offense a boost? I don't think he has as much impact to give the offense a boost, but if you're talking about just like a slight bump and like at-bat quality, then yes. He'll go up there and take a pitch in or half. He might flinch at it, but he's willing to take stuff down, get himself in a hitter's count. Whether he does something with that is a different story, Thunderpants. But he's definitely not going to go up there and have big pump damage. He's not going to hit one 430, but he's going to put the ball in play if he can. He's going to put the ball in play there. Find some grass. They play no doubles defense more than any team I've seen. I'll have to check with my nerd buddies about that, but I've seen that quite a lot. They're trying to eliminate the extra base hit here more than ever. But yeah, he gives them some boost. Not going to K as much. He won't give at bats away. Matt says, can you admit the Jays are the better team through 4 games? They're tied to a piece. The games that they haven't put up, and their offense has been better for sure. Not like by an overwhelming amount. They've had extra base thump, but if you look at it, they haven't been to the numbers. They haven't been better, like by a wide margin. I'm not going to be the guy. I wasn't sitting up here saying that the Dodgers were a otherworldly better team. I said this would be a tough series. I said this would be 6. They would throw a lot at them. But they're tied to a piece. I can't say anything. It's just after game 3 of the 18-inning thing, it was like, all right, now they have the upper hand. That's the pendulum. How it swings, Matt. It looked poor yesterday. It's been like the same deal. It's been like the same deal. BC, is this team OPSs right here, bro? Is this what it is? Confirm with me real fast so I can put that up. Otherwise, I can't. Is that team OPS through the World Series? Or in the World Series? Yeah, cool. Well, I have right now, the Blue Jays have a 698 OPS and the Dodgers have a 692 OPS in the World Series. That's where it's at. So 0.06. So they're legit the same exact thing. Same offense. It's just they've had to blow up games, and that's just how it is. Dodgers have 7 pumps. Yeah. Blue Jays have 5 homers, 23 RBI. They're just putting ball in play way more. We talked about it. They're popping up at a ridiculous rate. They're popping up at a crazy rate right now and just giving outs away. So I don't have a problem admitting that the Blue Jays are a better team. But their offense hasn't been drastically better than the Dodgers. They just have blow up wins that make you go, what? Where's this from the Dodgers? The Dodgers just aren't hitting meatballs. People are going to be like, oh, you're saying the Dodgers offense has been great. No, they stink, but they've got to put the ball in play more. Can't give away outs. BC, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for pulling that. I just had to confirm it. Let's see. Kenny, chill. Vinny says, this is a good one. He says, does this current slump change how you view Pages for the long term? Yes. I didn't think anybody would ask me about this, but I have had this conversation quite a bit with some people in the last, during this postseason stretch here. So yes, I will say yes. Let's talk in the offseason. If Unplugged gets renewed, if we still keep doing this thing, we'll get in this a lot. But yes, I do think so. I do think it changes my thing here. Tonight's Dodgers lineup. Everybody loud and clear. All ears. Eyes on me, signals on. Shohei Ohtani, DH. Will Smith behind the plate. Mookie Betts at shortstop. Freddie Freeman in the cleanup spot at first base. Teoscar Hernandez in right field. Tommy Edman second base. Max Muncy at third. Kike Hernandez in center field, batting eighth. And Alex Call in left field in the 9 hole with Blake Snell on the mound. There it is. There's your lineup. There's your Dodgers lineup. There it is. Laura says this. Love your straight talk, Scotty. DodgerHeads Unplugged. Do we win tonight? I asked Blake this. I'm not going to tell you what Blake Williams said, as he hates the Dodgers offense, and I don't blame him. And I don't blame anyone who's being pessimistic about today. But I believe in Blake Snell's ability to bounce back. I believe him to go out there and find that fastball inner half and top quadrant there. That's what you want to look out for. Force the Blue Jays to have bad contact there and not being able to extend the barrel. So I want a win tonight, Laura. I want a win tonight. If you want me to say, do they win tonight? I want them to win tonight. But if the offense isn't up for it, I don't see them winning tonight. I want them to win tonight. The offense has to do it, though. Offense has to do it. Lineup, again, I'll go through it one more time. Shohei Ohtani, DH. Will Smith behind the plate in the 2 slot. Mookie Betts is out of the 2 slot and goes down to 3 and is at shortstop. Freddie Freeman in the cleanup spot there to break up the lefties in a 3 spot there. So it goes left, right, left, and then Teoscar Hernandez in right field in the 5. Tommy Edman at second base. He's a switch hitter. Max Muncy from the left side is at third. Kike Hernandez in center field, righty, and Alex Call left field tonight in place of Andy Pages here, righty. Aaron says Scott's refusal to make a prediction means he doesn't have confidence in them. I don't have confidence in the offense, and I don't think anybody could have confidence in the offense. If they don't hit, they're going to lose. So every single time the offense has had an opportunity early game to take stock of these pitchers here, they just haven't been able to capitalize beyond more than 1 run. You see them scratch 1, scratch 2. They did it in game 1, and then immediately they tied it up on a 2-run pump, and it was like, bop, like how can you battle back from this? And they didn't. So yesterday, same type of thing. You put up 1, they hit a 2-run shot from Vladdy, and it was just like a gut punch to them. Like, get out early, keep tacking on, don't let them up for air. So if we see that again, Aaron, you'll know my answer, man. You'll know my answer. I want them to win tonight. I believe they can win tonight if they tack on more runs. Do they win? Does the offense do it? Tapey says this. The beginning just hasn't happened. Lukey says Blake Williams overrated. He's on our panel, so I when we talk about stuff, it matters to the show. All right. Damn, let me clip that. Let's see. Donnie Boy says, holy crap, fans don't watch if you think we're already cooked. People are doomers, man. People are doomers. You got to respect it. That's fandom. You got to be pulled back into belief, and that's okay. Peely says, for those who think the Jays are a better team, we basically batted game 4 like how the Jays batted game 2. We're taking turns, switching places. Yes, correct. I agree. It's just that the losses look so much different. And losses look way different. And the wins for the Dodgers, they have 1 win where they just kind of stymied them completely, and that was the Yamamoto complete game. And that's why I have a lot of faith in that if the Dodgers can just hush them for a bit, pitch around, avoid the beginning, then they'll be in all right shape. But it starts with today. Cameron says, do you think last night was a soft punt? No chance. No way. They had the 18-inning game played in their favor with the starting pitching, and Ohtani couldn't keep them off. And then the bullpen arms who were available, Anthony Bonda, Dreyer, Blake Trinan from the 18-inning game, they didn't have too much then that's who had to keep it perfect. And the offense just didn't do them any favors. They did nothing to do it until the 9th inning, which is embarrassing. And at that point, it's already there. So it wasn't a soft punt. There wasn't anything to do if the offense wasn't playing. If it's a close game, like a 1-run game, then yeah, run your guys out there. But it wasn't a close game. You guys want optimism? You want some optimism here? I mean, I already told you. I believe Blake Snell's ability to bounce back, lineup changes, turn some things around, hit guys in different spots here. Avoiding Blake Trinan does world. So avoid Blake Trinan at all costs. Don't give him the ball until if you have to in a 5-run game. Works for me. So 2-2 in the World Series. A lot of teams would kill for this. But I would be hard pressed to find a ton of confidence in the offense until I see them not just get one and then just revert back to this thing where it's all right, pray for a hanger and then miss it. That's where I'm at. All right. I believe in Blake Snell to bounce back. Starting pitching has done the damn thing all postseason, regular season, second half. The offense has to carry their load. Shout out to the 2,500 in here. But when you move stuff around, things matter. And Will Smith in the 2 slot matters a ton. Let's take one more question. Let me hopefully find a good one here and not a dud. Let's see. Predictions for tonight. Put those in chat. If you're listening after the fact here up until game time, put those in the comment section here. Laura says Muncie's a no-show. He's been a no-show. He needs to have a big one. Needs to do something. All right. Okay. Not seeing it. I saw someone talk about who's the bridge to the 9th if Snell goes 6. I'd give Robleski the ball. He looked really good. He looked confident. Will Klein's going to be unavailable. I don't think he could even see the thing until back end 6, 7. That's a lot of I did it. Sorry guys, my bad. It's just a lot of Thunderpants asked when he's available, but it's just a lot of mileage on the arm. That might just be it. That might just be it for him. All right. I don't see a question that I'm fired up about. They might be way up in the feed. People saying Dodgers win 7-2. Betts has multiple hits. Snell goes 7 from Madison. Snellzilla gives us 8. That's big time. BC, where's your prediction, man? Give me your prediction, brother. Amanda Z, Dodgers 4-2. Edgardo Enriquez, he's cool, but he had Miles. That could be a thing. Madison for that says Robo, Sheehan, Sasaki. Could see it, yeah. All right. Yeah, somebody says, how do we score 7 runs? Yeah, I agree. Got to come out firing. Trey Savage, second time around. Trey Savage has had a couple clunkers throughout this postseason. Let's not act like he hasn't. Not a lot of exposure during the regular season. Arm slot, that was tough, tricky. 2-pitch guy, basically, like handedness. I'll go over this again for you. He has a 3-pitch mix, so he's pretty liberal with this stuff here. It's not dud questions. It's people just saying stuff like they like commenting on Blake Trinan again. We talked about that last night. I've been talking about the offense. I've been talking about their ability to bounce back, talking about they got to do more. I've been doing that every day. I've been talking about that every day. Talk about their ability. You're watching on the field them not living up to that expectation. Now it's at the point where the starting pitching has done everything to keep them in a 2-2 series. 2-2 series. So Trey Savage here against righties, 4-seam fastball slider. He's going to provide them with split. But against lefties, he's going to be big time, like 4-seam fastball 50% of the time. That's a huge number, a big time number. He can work that thing north-south. Excuse me. But you're going to get a lot of split from him. He's throwing that at nearly a 35% clip. Slider breaking in seldom versus lefties there. That's usually just to make you respect the, east-west game of the plate. So early on in the game, if he's establishing himself with all 3 pitches there, and he's not able to find the zone, with one, I'm not saying cross out something, but the Dodgers and got to be counts here. They looked a little in between, like, Matt, said early on in the show. So the Dodgers got to be able to do this. Remember, this is the Blue Jays' #1 prospect. This is someone they have a lot in. Yeah. Shan, I got you. You're good. You're good. We're good. We're always good. Appreciate you being here. But Trey Savage, look out for that today. The kid's got some stuff. He's got some juice. But he has had a clunker. The Dodgers put up 2 earned runs on him in game 1. He went 4, 5 punch, 3 walks. So look at the opportunities that they had him. Dodgers put up 4 runs. It's that they're not able to have that big hit. So look for that moment where you'll see stuff come to a head, where you'll see them saying this is the spot, and you get the feeling as a fan that you've got to have that 1 extra swing, 2 extra swings. It'll happen today. It'll happen today at home. It's hot. He's going to put the ball in place to do it. The Dodgers need that extra swing, okay? I don't have the game log up from this first one here, but there were moments in game 1 where the Dodgers could have added that extra swing. I just don't have it. I don't have it in my mind. Sorry about that. Watching too much ball. But you can't have those moments again. So good luck. Lock in. Hopefully Blake Snell is able to establish that fastball here. And then I'm with you here. Oh, this was it. I got it. In the second inning, in the game 1, Will Smith led off with a walk. Teoscar force out here, little fielder's choice. Will Smith out at second. Teoscar reaches. Muncy singles. So first and second, 1 out here. Kike Hernandez gets a base knock there, gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Tommy Edmonds singles. And then you've got Bags Juice here with 1 out, and Andy Pages K's with the Bags juiced and 1 out. Works a 3-2 count, K's, and then Shohei Ohtani grounds out on the 4th pitch of the AB. And the Dodgers escape with just 1. That's that spot. Inning 2, look for it early on in the game. Try not to have whiff in spots where you got to be putting the ball in play. No Andy Pages. Don't have a clunker in that 9-hole there. Alex Call, if it falls on you in front of Shohei, they will pitch to you, Mr. Call. Have to come up with those things. So Trey Savage provides his own traffic sometimes. It's just a matter of when. And can the Dodgers capitalize on it? Yeah, Peely, we got the lineup. I got the lineup out, buddy. Cool. So look out for those things early on. As always, I appreciate you, chat. 2,600 in here on a Wednesday afternoon. Dodgers are in a spot where they can win today, and then all that stuff changes. All that stuff changes. Win today, change the feeling of everybody. Freedom says this: win tonight, Dodgers will take it all in Toronto. Love this. Love this energy. Ruby, love you, Scott. See you on the other side, brother. Absolutely. We'll see you on the other side. We'll see you in Toronto. Hopefully it's the Dodgers up 3-2 in a series here, and they just need one there. I think I just convinced myself. BC put up, Dodgers win. What was that, 6-3, 6-2? I'm a BC. Say 5-3. I'm going to say 5-3. Dodgers win, take control of this series once again, fly to Toronto, give the ball to Yamamoto. Let's call this. Let's run this back. 6-3 BC. I'm going to say 5-3. Let's do this. All right. Everybody, chat, please enjoy the rest of your day. Can't thank you enough. Terrific turnout here today. All the super chats here. Let the suits know that we've got a ton of tier 1, tier 2s in here. Don't ask me what those mean. It just means I recognize you a ton and I appreciate the hell out of you. So please enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. If you're joining me from work, thank you for avoiding your obligations there and working on company time. That means a whole hell of a lot to me. And if your boss is tuning into the show too, then they're with you. But we'll be here again tomorrow. We'll be here again on Friday, and then we'll go from there and we'll touch base. So thank you a bunch. This is where you can vent. This is where we can talk. This is where we can have honest critique of this team that this offense needs to be, slandered until they make it happen. So they're in a spot 2-2 in the World Series. Feeling good. Still in a spot where I'm not on that doomer side yet. Offense just has to carry the load. It's about damn time. But all right, we'll touch base. Everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, my name is Scott Geirman. We'll talk to you soon. Until I can't say it anymore. Go Dodgers.